Welcome back to Squawk Box. Breaking news, our May read on housing starts and permits. We're expecting a number around 1.1 million on the starts, and we ended up getting disappointed. 974,000 seasonally adjusted annualized units. That follows at 891. That may be revised in a few minutes. Obviously, 974 doesn't really do much for us, considering that March we were up at 1.27 million. And now if we look at permits, what may lie ahead, 1.220 million seasonally adjusted annualized units. That's pretty darn close to expectations, and it definitely is a big jump over our last look, which was slightly modified, now stands at 1.066. So 1.066, now 1.220, best number since March. And here we are getting revision on starts. I thought we would, from 891,000 actually up to 934,000. So we definitely improved a bit. So that means that this month's starts were up a little over 4%, and permits were up a bit over 14%. So once again, another data point where we're leaving the worst levels in the rearview mirror. It's all about rate of change for all you quants out there. So this improvement, of course, is a good sign with respect to housing. We know interest rates are low. Maybe the biggest question out there is, who's going to want to live in some of these really big cities that experience a lot of agita during the last several crises? Maybe with all the Zoom going on, maybe that's going to change the housing market. But at least for right now, the housing market as it stands looks like it's getting more optimistic month to month. Becky, back to you.
Rick, good question. Not it in terms of living there. Rick, thank you. We'll talk to you again very soon. In the meantime, Diana Olick is here. She's got more insight into these numbers and what she sees with that, too. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Becky. Yeah, and I'm looking specifically at the single-family market because that's where we were looking for the most growth. That's where we have a very short supply of existing homes for sale, and we've been talking to a lot of the home builders who said that they've seen extraordinary demand in May, and the big question was, could they ramp up the starts? And apparently the answer was, not really. You only saw a 0.1% monthly move in the single-family housing construction, still down 18% year over year in starts. The permits, as Rick said, are much better. So why were the builders not able to ramp up? A couple of things that we've heard. Land. They stopped buying land in March and April. They wanted to stay land light in order to keep their balance sheets healthy during the pandemic, which they thought that demand was going to fall off for much longer. We heard Stuart Miller from Lennar yesterday on Squawk Box saying that they really shut down the land purchases as well as the starts. Then they had to ramp that up quickly at the end of April and the beginning of May when they saw that demand coming back. Problem was, didn't have the land, probably didn't have the labor, as they had to lay off thousands of workers in March and April. Bringing them back online in May was difficult. And then, of course, you have to look at the materials. Was that material flow coming into the builders the way they needed it? It seems from the numbers they were not able to get up to speed on that. So I'm looking at the permits thinking that'll be better in June. But again, it's disappointing to see that with so much demand out there, they weren't able to ramp up that construction more quickly, hopefully in the next couple of months as we do see demand going forward. But again, disappointment on the starts, much better on the permits.